Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel. You have to click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. I've been pretty consistent lately in terms of what time I go live, but that could change, right? Such as tomorrow. I will not be going, just as a heads up, I will not be going live tomorrow when I have normally gone live, which is between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am going to a happy hour after work tomorrow. So I will be going live at some point. Could be tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. It could be tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just make sure that you click that bell icon for notifications. Brian, welcome in. Tech is ripping. Great bounce back. Yes, not surprising. Kind of talked about expectations yesterday with the S&P, so nothing super surprising, but good to see that it's panning out that way. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on YouTube, obviously. You can follow me even on Instagram and TradingView. One word, it's right here, Crypto Bull God. If you want to have some fun, I've shared this with you guys before, but I work remote. And I would go insane if I didn't have some sort of daily social outlet. If I was just here by myself working, I would be mentally unstable. I would be very mentally unstable. So I go to the gym every morning. So if you want to try something a little creepy, a little fun, I gotta say, especially down here in South Florida, there's a lot of girls, women in particular, who love taking selfies. That's like half the workout. Like half the workout is getting there and just being dressed up and taking the selfie. So if you ever just want to be a little creepy, funny, you really don't care, you don't mind awkwardness, as they're taking their selfie and they're like giving this smile and trying to look all pretty, just stare at them. Just literally just look at them. Just look at them. I did that today. I feel like I generally can read the room. Welcome in, Crypto Ryan. Good to see you. Live every day, brother. I'm live every day. I feel like one of the things I am good at is reading a room and being able to read people and interact with them in a way that brings out a positive response. Now, not 100% of the time. Sometimes my humor is lost on some people, and that's on me to self-recognize that. But I feel in general I can read a room well and interact with people in a way that gets a positive response. So, so anyway, that's my little funny story from earlier today. But beautiful day outside today. I got to enjoy a little bit of the weather. It's like, I don't know what temperature it is. It's in the 80s here in South Florida, so I don't know where you guys are at, but it is really, really beautiful outside. Now, one of the things I had tweeted about earlier today was that we are going to take a look at some charts we haven't taken a look at in a while. So I'm going to keep my word on that. The other thing I did earlier today, for those that are not up to date on the Twitter feed, one thing I wanted to run by you real quick. Appreciate the support on the thumbs up. So for fun, now let me read this with you because I don't want anyone to miss this, okay? I tweeted this out. I said Bitcoin 127,373 blow off top Wednesday, October 18th. Okay? That's my official prediction. So I am on record. That's my prediction. Okay? People love making predictions, right? So disclaimer, anyone who pays attention to my content knows that I believe picking a specific price on a specific day is pure stupidity. I am doing this for fun. I want to reiterate. Just trying to have fun. I analyze all this shit. I just want to throw something out there. It's somewhat based on education. The price target is, and the date is, for sure. But I want to throw something out there for the hell of it, just for fun. We'll see where things land. What I would do, as I always state, this is a very volatile market, and the smartest thing you can do is to have an educated hypothesis leading you to conclude on a price range which is possible. Feel free to comment on your prediction, and some people took me up on that. By the way, I continue to chart this out, and we'll take a look at it. If we are going to see some sort of blow off top this year, like I am projecting in the fourth quarter of this year, you're going to have to see some monumental rise in price like this that sort of mirrors the price action from back in 2020 going into 2021. Just keep that in mind. Where was I going with that? But I don't know. I was going to make another. This is what happens when you get older in life. You have these thought processes that just flee your mind on a whim's notice. There's something else I was going to state about this, but yeah. So it'll be fun to go back in time and kind of take a look at this. If anybody wants to comment on this and just put in for fun what they think will happen this year. When they think a blow off top's going to happen, maybe some of you, believe it's going to happen in 2025. You could be correct, 2024, but you know where I stand. So let's get into the charts because I completely lost my train of thought in terms of what I wanted to say. Last point I wanted to make there. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. One of the other things I tweeted out today, I said it's all noise until we clear $31,000 with some conviction. Now, why did I come to that conclusion? Well, it's pretty simple. This is 31,000, right? And some change, right? This is the last higher high that we've created, right? So we've had these higher lows and higher highs kind of coming in here, right? These are the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative, right? This is pretty easy to see, right? So we got a bunch of higher lows and a bunch of higher highs in here, right? So the name of the game is to take out our prior higher high, which is at $31,000, right? And we don't want to do it with weakness. Ideally, what we want to see is when price comes up here, we really want to convincingly break $31,000 and hold it as an area of support. You know that I have a range. That range that we're going to get into, I believe we're going to take a look at. I don't know if we're actually going to take a look at that today. No, we're not going to take a look at that today. We've been hitting hard on it like every day. But there's a range of resistance between 28,800 and 32. So ultimately we want to get above 32. But this, it's great to see a positive day today. It's great. But, hold your level of excitement. It's great to see Bitcoin up 4.5% today so far. But we haven't even cleared this wick here. Remember this big indecisiveness from yesterday we spent a great deal of time talking about? The high here was at, $30,000. We're not above $30,000. So no reason to get uber excited until we really start to break above $31,000. Until then, the chart has to convince me that we're not just going to be doing this, okay? We're not just going to be chopping around. I believe we're just going to be chopping around for a little bit until proven otherwise. I want price to come up and break $31,000. So it's nice to see this green, but that's what we need to see in the charts. And again, just kind of hammering home on this. This is my view. Okay, this is my view. Of course, this might look a little crazy, right? How the hell are we going to go from $30,000 all the way up to nearly $130,000, right? Well, you could have said the same thing back here, right? When we were sitting at 10 and went all the way up to 64. So not unreasonable. Once it's the thing I've really tried to hit home on is for this price action to sustain itself in a manner that could reach levels all the way up at 130,000, you're going to have to, in the beginning, create some of these stair steps, right? Create some of these stair steps, and then it starts to really get parabolic at some point. And that parabola, I want to take you back in time. This is what I wanted to take a look at with you guys. I want to take a look at 2020 and 21 real quick before we get into another chart. I believe the next chart is one we haven't taken a look at in a while. When we started breaking out from this $10,000 area of consolidation back in 20, I remember this very well. I was expecting more of a pullback, and I was incorrect, obviously, with that. Meaning, when we broke, this was our prior all-time high, 19,666, right? Basically $20,000, okay? This line here, this orange line, horizontal line, look what happened once we broke above it. Did we back test it? No, we did not. As soon as we broke 20,000 with volume and conviction here, we never back tested this area. We just went straight up, okay? More than likely, that's what we will see again. Maybe we back test, but more than likely what you're going to see is we start to come up to this $64,000 to $69,000 area and we break through and you see us at 70, 72,000. There's going to be some people that say, be patient. Just wait for it to come back to 64, 62. They're going to be calling for 69. It may happen, but it may not happen. Just using the past to say, hey, Last time we created new all-time highs here back in 2021, we did not come. I remember distinctly YouTube channels and tweets waiting for the pullback to come back to $20,000, okay? And I was in the camp that believed we would see a retest back down to the $20,000 area. It never happened. It never happened. And we ran all the way up to $64,000. Just be mindful that when things really start to get euphoric, they really get euphoric. And that's why you really have to do your due diligence now and kind of scale into these opportunities like Bitcoin when the prices are historically at low valuations. The charts dictate that to us. It's not our human belief. It's not our human emotional belief that prices are oversold. No, the charts are telling us such. It's why it's so important to be buying at $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $19,000, okay? Because if you're patient, your investment's going to double, triple, quadruple, go up 5x in value if you are very patient. Okay, next chart I wanted to take a look at here. Now, this is a I call this the multi-day view, but as you recall, if you guys have been here for a little bit, I've spoken to the importance of the 3-day chart and the 125 simple moving average. There is a video on my YouTube channel. If you go back in time, it's called The Bitcoin Bull is Back. And in that video, I laid out 3 charts. I just tried to lay out 3 charts that when you checked them off, okay, we're good to go. We should be good to go. Prices should really, you should have confirmation with never certainty, but with a deep level of conviction that we should start to see astronomical rises in price. This was the last chart to confirm. This is the 10-day chart using the 125 simple moving average. This latest candlestick here will close on Sunday. But as you can see, we were under here for an extended period of time. We finally broke out here and we've held. Do you notice how we've held this line? We haven't closed below it. We've held it, okay? Anytime you can see we got below it here, once we got back above it, a move up. Got below it here, once we got above it, big move up, right? Back here, we actually dipped below it twice, but once we convincingly got above it again, large move up. This is another chart we have not looked at in a very long time that is telling us, hey, we were under here, we were suppressed in price for a long amount of time. Now we've gotten back above this moving average, and history tells us, just using history, that anytime we've seen candle bodies close back above the moving average once they were below it, right? Once we were below it, once we get a close back above the moving average, historically, we've had a massive appreciation in price. We have not seen a massive appreciation in price yet. So this is just another chart that should leave us feeling convicted. There's a lot more rate of appreciation to see in the market. Now let's talk about this one. Okay, we haven't looked at this in a long time. Appreciate everyone new tuning in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. What's up, Jorge? Make sure you hit the thumbs up to show support for the channel. Now, what am I showing here? We're going to take a look at another indicator. This is the Williams alligator. We don't need to go into technical mumbo jumbo about what is the Williams alligator and who derived it, okay? Nerdy people like me are interested in things like that. You don't need to understand that. What you need to understand, you need to put on your kindergarten glasses, okay? This is really all you got to do, all right? Pattern recognition. Do you see any consistency, anything in this chart that is consistent with the orange arrows which indicate mass appreciation in price? Is there any commonality here? Again, put on the kindergarten glasses and tell me if you can recognize colors, okay? When green is above red is above blue. We want green, red, blue. When that happens, and I'm showing the exact time it was triggered with this purple vertical line, mass appreciation in price. Right here, mass appreciation in price, right? We really started to go to parabolic even before that. That was, and again, a lot of people are comparing the current time period to 2019, and I think they're dead wrong, but time will tell. Again, got across here. This is back in 2015. Mass appreciation in price, mass appreciation in price. If we go back here, and I'm actually drawing 2 distinct points here. Got across here, mass appreciation up to this point, had a slight cross down here. Got the cross again, mass appreciation in price. The point in me showing this to you is this is one of these charts we have not looked at in a while that is staring us in the face. We just had a cross on March of this year. Okay, we just got the cross in March of this year, which was last month. We have not seen a monumental rise in price yet. Again, it is, I don't want to say very possible. Choose my words carefully here. It is absolutely a possibility that the narrative that's getting shilled around Twitter could occur. It is possible this year that maybe we really do top out at 48, 50,000, right? Which would still be more than a 50% move from here. And maybe we don't top until 2024, 2025. I am extremely open, because I've been wrong before, to the possibility I'm wrong, okay? Regardless, at a minimum, we should see, in my opinion, a 50% rise in price. You know what my view is, though. That is not my main hypothesis. My main hypothesis is we're going to be creating new all-time highs this year. Regardless of what your own educated and informed, hopefully, view is, and I know everyone tuning in has a very educated and informed view. I don't have any doubts about that if you're tuned into this channel. But whatever your view is, my point is, every single time we've had a positive cross, we've had a massive rise in price, and we have not seen a massive rise in price yet. So we'll just have to remain patient and kind of see how the next 9 months play out. The other thing I wanted to hit on is the ADXDI. Again, we don't need to get into the technicalities of what this price indicator is. And again, this is on a weekly. I apologize if I didn't share that earlier. This is on the weekly. Anytime there's this large gap, and the larger the gap, the more significant the rise in price. But you want the green above the red, right? Anytime you have the green above the red, what I'm showing here, and the red is actually below, our trigger line is 20, excuse me, it's not 0. There's a trigger. See this horizontal dotted black line at 20? Anytime green's above that trigger line, red's below it, okay? And by default, green is above red then. You have these monumental rises in price, and you can see that, okay? Look at how much larger the gap is here relative to here, and you can see the rise in price was more significant than back here. We have the gap, okay? You can see there's a gap here, there's a gap here. We kissed here back in, this is when we had our probably drop down to 19, I think. So, but regardless, the red is below 20 and the green is above 20, and the gap has widened as compared to here, right? So we'll have to see how this develops, but it's another indicator that's flashing to us, telling us that a larger rate of appreciation is very possible in store for us over the coming next several months, excuse me. Jorge says, can you chart XPR? When do you see? Thanks. Big dog. Aren't you supposed to spell dog D-A-W-G? Big dog? Big dog. Can you chart XPR or XRP? You talking about XPR or XRP? Can you clarify that one? And where do you see it topping at? Clarify the question. I'd be happy to chart it as always. Save the TA questions for a little bit just so I don't lose track. Just because I'm going to go through a couple more charts here. Bitcoin dominance is not one that we've looked at in a little while. This is one that is starting to make me very, let me put it to you this way. I've had a long-standing thesis since, I think you can go back to my Twitter account, August. I had this pinned on my profile for the longest of time, August of 22, that this has been a descending triangle. And at that point, the way I had this drawn was, I think, something like this, I believe. I'd have to go back and check. But regardless, we can redraw this and still make it look like a descending triangle. I'm not invalidating anything by drawing this the way it is drawn right now, because you still have lower highs coming in. But wait, Crypto Bull God, what about this? You are correct. This is on a monthly view, okay? This Bitcoin dominance candle for the month of April, if it closes up here, it's starting to look highly unlikely that this descending triangle is going to pan out. Now, does that mean we're not going to have a massive run in alts? No, that's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm saying is at least this pattern of having a pole and then a flag and a descending triangle, okay? Pattern looks to me like it's going to be invalidated if we start printing areas up here. Because now what you'd have to do is, now we're really trying to almost like fudge the numbers. I mean, you could draw it something like this, but the problem with that is you don't have a touch here. There's no touches in here, and I don't like that, okay? So you like I believe it's 3 touches is what you like to see, and I don't see that, at least on this time frame. But for this pattern, at least on a monthly basis, to kind of hold, thumbs up for everyone new tuning and appreciate it. For this pattern to hold, really, we need dominance to come down to around 47.7%. We need this green body to shrink in size and really go red. We really need it to come down to this area. We can start playing around with different time frames. We can start playing around with different time frames. Yeah, and Crypto Ryan, Bitcoin dominance to 56%. I know that I know Credible Crypto is one of them who's projecting a rise up in Bitcoin dominance. It's quite possible. I have not been in that belief, but could turn out to be correct. We could start playing around with different time frames to make this thing try to look like it's still in formation. But the bottom line is, for me, this month is critical based on where this closes, because again, the chart is the chart, and my line of thinking and your line of thinking has to evolve if the chart changes. And in this case, if we close up here, I got to tell you, I'm not seeing a descending triangle anymore. I don't see it. Then to me, it looks like I'm trying to force something. So we'll have to see where this week comes in. Yeah, then so Crypto Ryan is kind of pointing out here that there are some people, and I've seen this on Twitter to varying degrees. I know Credible Crypto is one. It sounds like Crypto Ryan is one. There's a lot of people that thought this was going to happen way up here. But the general premise is, I think Credible Crypto was expecting some rise before we saw a plummet. So it looks like, that could turn out to be the case. I could definitely be incorrect on this one for sure. So we'll have to see how that goes. I wonder why 56%. I'll have to take a closer look at that. Maybe some sort of fib retracement level, some area of price confluence at 56%. 56% looks like it's right up in this region here. So I'll have to take a closer look at that. But thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention. Jorge, don't forget to clarify what chart you want me to take a look at. I think you mean XRP, but just make sure that you clarify. All right, here's the S&P. Now, if you guys recall on Monday, Monday. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, everybody new tuning in. If you hit the thumbs up, I wouldn't have to keep saying this annoying line to hit the thumbs up. As you recall, I think it was Monday, we had a conversation about the S&P, and I told you that I was on the phone with my mother, and she had said to me she had concerns about the stock market. And I said, Mom, why are you so concerned about the stock market? It sounds almost like you're not watching my live stream. And of course, she laughed. And I know no one watches me anymore because crypto is boring. It's funny. Back in this area, you wouldn't believe the text messages I was getting. Bitcoin was at 30,000. We're at the same levels right now. No one's texting me. No one's excited. And of course, the human emotional, and I brought this up to my mom, and of course, she says to me, well, that's because, we were at 69 or 60,000 or 70,000 before, and now we're at 30. So it's the human psychology element, right? But I explained to her, Mom, you got to check out one of my live streams sometime, because what's going on is, and we can draw this area of descending resistance several ways. We could draw it like this. That's still valid. So we technically have 2 touches here. But the way I have it drawn is like this, okay? That's around the area that I have it drawn. And so what I'm pointing out here is there are still lower highs. I agree. See how there's lower highs? But there's also descending resistance that's gotten broken and back tested as support. The other critical thing here, and this is the most important thing to point out in this chart, besides the descending resistance, welcome in BCK, this is the more important point and the thing that you really want to keep an eye on in the S&P, okay? This is a moving average, so the price is going to change over time. But right now, the EMA, the 21 exponential moving average, is sitting at 4,028, okay? And it's moving up as we speak. I've gone on this channel many times in the past to speak to the history, and we can just go back in time and you can kind of see it. When we get candle body closes typically below here, we oftentimes see a big drop in price, right? We saw a candle body close technically here, and we had a large drop in price, right? Well, we've since stabilized up in this area, and we've been maintaining prices above the 21 exponential moving average. So the way you want to look at this is, if you want to look for the overall health and strength in the S&P, and thus the stock market, you want ultimately for weekly candle closes, not wicks. Wicks are an expression of volatility. But you want to make sure that weekly candle close, okay, when we close the week out, it's above the 21 exponential moving average. So every week, let's just maintain a price level above. This week is 4,027. As long as we stay above that level, we're good. Next week, we'll probably move up to, 4,040. So let's just keep a price level above 4,040. And you guys know how I feel. And it's not how I feel. It's just based on the charts. How many times have I brought up 43.25? Let's get the weekly close to get above 43.25. So if you're not a chartist, okay, just do this for yourself. Keep an eye on the S&P. And when you see on Friday, it has to be a Friday because that's going to close out the week. When at the end of the day on a Friday, when the S&P is at or above 43.25, give yourself a little pat on the back and a cheer. Have yourself a glass of wine. Have yourself just a little celebratory drink because we haven't cleared this lower high and we haven't cleared our all-time high, but clearing this clears this lower high and significantly increases the probability that we're going to begin to take out this and create new all-time highs up here. This looks like the drawing of a kindergarten child if I had if I had a child of my own. This is probably what their drawing would look like, A little of this. Well, let's not go any further. I will start to draw things that I shouldn't draw. And you probably wouldn't be able to interpret it anyway because my artistic ability is terrible. Now, the next thing I wanted to do is take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average as well to assess the overall health of the stock market. Let's see what comments we got going on here. I see a few people commenting here. XPR. Okay, it is XPR. Okay, all right. Chat publicly as old gray one. I have no... Chris, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Okay, Jorge, you've made it clear it's XPR. I'm going to get on that for you, brother. All right. Tuscany region, good region for wine. Very good. Lebanese wine. Been drinking a Lebanese wine. Fantastic. I'm real bad with DMs. BCK, I know exactly who you are from Twitter. Big supporter and appreciate that. Do me a favor. I know I'm very bad with DMs. But I will be on the lookout for this. Can you shoot me a DM on the wine that you're trying out here, this Lebanese wine? Because I like trying new wines. So feel free to shoot me a DM. I'd like to get a conversation going just knowing what you're sipping there and give it a shot. So anywho, let's get to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. What's going on here? Well, this is a weekly chart looking at the same sort of thing. We're looking at the 21 EMA. As long as prices, every week on Friday when the stock market closes on the Dow Jones, as long as we're maintaining price levels above this moving average, it's expressing relative health in the overall stock market, and that's what we like to see. When we start dipping down below this blue line, you can see it increases the likelihood that we're going to dip a lot further, right? We first got a candle body close below, well, technically it was here and here a little bit, but real deep confirmation. Look at that red candlestick. And ever since then, we dropped from about 34,000 all the way down to 28, right? Deep correction in the stock market. Now we've been bouncing around, a little sharp little correction there, but we've been maintaining levels above the 21 EMA, so that's good to hold. I have another area of prior resistance here that looks like it wants to formulate a support around 33,800, but ultimately, the red line is what we want to get above. This is the prior bounce high. We want to get above 34,700, all right, on the Dow Jones, all right? Once we start to get above 34,700, once again, it's going to significantly increase the likelihood we're going to begin taking out these lower highs and ultimate highest high and create new all-time highs this year in the stock market, this year. So the two levels you want to look for, okay, to assess the overall health in the stock market and to further validate that the stock market, the S&P and the Dow Jones, are going to far exceed the mass herd narrative out there that we're going to undergo some massive correction this year when we've already undergone a massive correction, okay? you want to look for 43.25. 43.25 on the S&P, and the Dow Jones, you want to look for 34,700. Just round it and keep it simple. 34,700. So keep an eye on those price levels, all right? Again, for all of those new tuning in, don't call me Bud. Jorge, you're getting the, and I think you're doing it intentional. I hate that name. Don't call me Bud. That is the quickest way for me to ignore your questions on charting. Do not like the word Bud. I had a whole Twitter conversation about this. It's the worst thing you can call. I mean, maybe it's an American thing. You know, maybe it's an American thing. You can call me brother. You can call me bro. I'm not a bro guy, but you can call me that. You can call me big dog. I like that. I like big dog. Don't call me Bud. I hate that. One of my friends used to call me that, and I'm not a fan. So what the heck was I saying? Oh, yes. So for everyone new tuning in, just wanted to kind of quick summarize before I get into your questions, which I'm going to in a moment here. My belief in general, similar to crypto, the stock market's going to do something, like this going into, the end of the year. And then, that's when we're going to start to have our correction, right? And actually someone asked me, actually BCK, was it you? I forget who it was. Someone asked me on Twitter what my expectations were for the halving, the halving event. Because, there's a lot of perma 4-year cycle people out there, that Bitcoin has to do the same thing every 4 years. And I think they have tunnel vision personally. But my general expectation, I think the halving is in April next year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Drop me a comment if I am incorrect. I believe the halving is in April next year. Date kind of changes a little bit here and there as we get closer, but general premise is, I believe, if I'm correct, and it doesn't matter if it's April or May, but let me just illustrate the point. If I am correct in my assertion, my assertion, my hypothesis, my educated guess. If I'm correct that the crypto markets are going to do something like this, let's pretend, the blue vertical line is, it's May. Thank you, BCK. So let's put this here. All right, fine, May 20th, right? So the blue vertical line is the end of this year, beginning of 2024. And the purple line, this is the halving event. So if I'm correct, and we see something general like this, and Bitcoin really does top out in September, October, November, even December, right? What I would anticipate, there's going to be a lot of euphoria up here. Remember, there's nothing I can guarantee you, but I can almost guarantee you this one, all right? That if this plays out, when Bitcoin does hit its all-time highs, and this happens, there's going to be mass euphoria up here. People will be calling for 200, 300, 400, 500, $1 million Bitcoin, So what's going to happen is, my hypothesis is when we do top out, we're going to begin to correct, right? We're going to begin to correct. But then we're going to form a base, and we're going to start rising, going into the halving, and then ultimately fall back down, right? This will be a lower high as compared to this. So the halving, leading up to the halving, it's going to be a sell the news event, in my opinion. It doesn't change fundamentally the incredible dynamics of a deflationary asset, and the fact that the supply becomes more scarce, it's harder to produce. I love the fundamentals of Bitcoin. That's why I'm in this space. But the chart is the chart, and this is my view on things. So, Big Hog, US. Let's get into XPR. Let's see. That's not what the ladies call me. They call me something with big, but it isn't. All right, all right, now I'm just not making sense. But am I making sense? I don't know. All right, so let's get into XPR. Have I charted this? I feel like I've charted this one. I'm surprised I don't have a chart for this. I feel like I have charted it. Well, we'll find out together, because if I've charted it, it would come up on my blank charts. Have I charted this one with you guys? Do you remember? KuCoin, CoinX. Maybe I haven't charted this with you. I feel like I have. In fact, no, I haven't charted this with you. I'm thinking of another project. Never mind. All right, let's take a look at this together. This is a 3-day view. Anytime, the nice thing with charts with a little bit of price data here, although there isn't a ton here, one of the nice things to do to help gain your perspective on what's going on, you can consolidate the price action. You can have fewer candlesticks on there, which kind of cleans up the chart. And the way you do that is you switch to a higher time frame, right? So instead of every candlestick representing 3 days, now what we're doing is we're looking at a chart, and every candlestick represents 1 week worth of price, 1 week's worth of price action. Okay, what do you think the first thing I'm going to point out in this chart is? Wow, these indicators. Any educated guesses on the first thing I'm going to point out in this chart? Okay, technicals look like they're making a rebound. RSI still. This is the weekly, by the way. RSI is still low at 37. We're still oversold. Stochastic RSI, what am I saying? Making a rebound. MACD is making a rebound, but the stochastic RSI is well below 20. The blue is below the orange, so that's bearish. RSI is oversold, so we have some work to do on the RSI and stochastic RSI. MACD has continued to move up. It wants to get closer and closer to the zero trigger line, but still a lot of work to do on the price indicators. Let's take a look at the price action, though, because price is king. So let's first formulate an opinion on descending resistance. I'd be surprised if you guys did not guess that would be the very first thing I would take a look at. To me, oh, that's like perfect. Almost perfect. Right about there. Well, no, what I want to convey here is, yeah. So we are in a lot of downward pressure here. This is a valid descending line. There's no bodies going through. We almost have a touch here, touchy, 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 and we're just pressing up against here, right? And in fact, what's not good to see in this chart, what the hell's the market cap on this thing? What's not good to see on this chart, let's see, what was the low here? This low was at 0.001273. So let's draw an area of support there, because I think we're below it. Yeah, that's not good to see. We're actually creating new all-time lows on this chart. Not healthy. Not healthy. I got to tell you, Jorge, this chart does not look, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence. I will say that. This, and the reason I say that is, now I have to turn this red. This doesn't coincide with the majority of projects we've looked at on this channel and that I chart. And that is this. We hit a low here. Now, every other project I've looked at with you guys, the all-time low, or excuse me, not the all-time low, but the cyclical low was hit in 2022. In this case, with this week, we've created a new all-time low. That's not good to see. So that's the first thing I'd point out to you. That's a red flag, okay? So now we have a new all-time low, and that's coming in at 0.00122222. Okay, so it's not significantly lower than this, but still it's lower, and it's expressing a lot of weakness in the price. Not good to see. Now, is there any bullish divergence that I missed here? There actually is. So if we look at the RSI, I mean, it's at least encouraging to see that if you focus at this point right here, you can see it's increasing in value. The RSI here was 33. Over here it's 37. You can see the price was actually higher here than it was here. So the RSI, you got a little bit of bullish divergence going on there, not a ton. I wonder on the lower time frames, is there any bullish divergence? Okay, there is. The bullish divergence is more evident. In fact, it's very evident back here. You can see, now this I like to see. Draw it like that. You can basically see that on ticker symbol XPR, the RSI is continuing to increase in value as the price is going down. So that is leading me to conclude that there is some form of seller exhaustion that's coming in here. Now, I don't like to see that we've created a new low here. It's not significantly lower, but price is also sort of, to me, it still looks like we're sort of stabilizing in this general area in here. Okay, and we're also running up against this descending resistance. More than likely, the way it feels to me is we'll break it just going sideways before making a move up. That would be my educated guess. Now, where are we going to run into areas of resistance? Well, first would be our low, the low we set in 22. That's going to be an area of resistance. The other area, there's clearly wicks right there, right around the 0.00155 area. Don't want to muddy up the chart too much. I want to get some of these main areas. Again, and the key thing, especially my guess would be this is a lower market cap. But the key thing here, especially on smaller market caps, is, yeah, 631. So it's a smaller market cap. The thing here, especially on a lower market cap like this, is you don't want to get too cute with the prices. If I draw something that's at 0.00155, and you're like, but CBG, I have an area of resistance at 0.00156. Like, come on. Like, just exercise common sense. There's a lot of variability within this price, a lot of fluctuation, a lot of volatility, right? So it's really about zones of resistance, okay? So just keep that in mind. Here's another area of resistance. We're going to call that at 0.002, essentially. Just kind of move that up to there. 0.002. And another area right about there. I like that. Maybe just a tad higher. Yeah, I like it right there. Ooh, I like it right there. Yeah, that's right. Right there. What am I talking about? Okay, so anyway, yeah, a lot of weakness in this chart. And this thing really needs to prove itself that it wants to bounce and make significant progress. I mean, this is down huge. We were at 5 cents. Cripes. We're all the way down here. My God, it's like a 99% correction, which isn't uncommon. Yeah, 98% correction. So it's not uncommon, but still, XPR is showing a significant amount of weakness in the price. We have a lot of ground to make up here. Again, there's no reason. These things are so volatile. There's no reason you couldn't just have, despite all the weakness, I've just seen this before, you just all of a sudden have a green Jesus candle come into the things up 500%. But I would say using the law of probabilities and numbers, which is my entire life, I would say this is something that is not appealing to me. I wouldn't look at this chart and be like, oh my God, this is a great buy opportunity. It's a lot of weakness. We created a new low this year. We have all these areas of resistance to get above. We haven't even cleared descending resistance. So not the greatest chart. I would say that. Hope that was helpful. Just being honest as always. Anybody else have any charting questions? Because I got through all the charts that I wanted to cover. We'll have to see how the day closes out today. Again, I don't know when I'm going to live stream tomorrow. Some of that is, but now I don't know if you guys, is anybody here an NFL fan? Drop me a comment who your NFL team is. The draft is today, at least round one is today. Round one is today, and the Eagles pick 10th. Of course, they could move around. Roseman likes to move around a lot. We'll have to see, but I want to be present for that 10th pick. I don't know what time that's going to be, so I don't know, meaning I don't know how late I'm going to be up, and the struggle to get up tomorrow morning. I've actually been getting great sleep this week. Last week I was struggling with sleep. Some of it I know what it was. I had a lot of things on my mind. Some of it I can't explain to you, but this week I've been able to clear my head and get a lot better sleep, so I don't know that I want to jeopardize that. But in any event, like I said, I will not be live streaming tomorrow. New all-time low. I'm going all in, big dog. You do that. So what was I saying? Yeah, so for tomorrow, I am not going to be live streaming at the typical time. So just make sure to click that bell icon. You can watch it in syndication too, right? Because the thing is, if I live stream tomorrow at 5:30 a.m., I understand the majority of, and this is Eastern Standard Time, majority of you are not going to be present for that. And that's completely, I mean, you're slacking on life. You should be up at 5 a.m. You should be hitting the gym, in my opinion. But Or I will live stream tomorrow afternoon. But either way, just make sure you get the notifications. Kind of see how price action comes in at the end of the day today, going into tomorrow. Have to really think about what charts make sense to show. Monday, okay, is going to be a significant. Evan, welcome in, my friend. Monday's going to be a really big day. Do your best to be here live on Monday. I'm going to have a lot of charts talking about weekly closes and in particular, monthly close. Monday's a very big day because Bitcoin and all of crypto will close a monthly candlestick, and that monthly candlestick will hold a significant amount of significance. And we will discuss that reason for reasons I've already touched on, but we will get into that on Monday and the key levels that we were watching for and kind of where we ended up. Niners, huh? I don't know where the Niners are picking this year. I don't know where. I mean, unless if they got a trade for a first-round pick, based on where they landed in the playoffs, they should be at the back end of the first round, somewhere towards the upper 20s. So, yeah. But anywho, yeah, because we beat their ass. That's right. Yeah, that's right. We beat their ass in the NFC Championship. That's right. I sort of remember that game. I think the 49ers came to Lincoln Financial Field and we kicked the shit out of them. I think we took their quarterback out in the first quarter. Yeah, that Purdy guy. Yeah, and then we injured their second-string quarterback as well. I think I remember something about that. All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm just getting flashbacks of my team. EAGLES. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. I will be live at some point tomorrow. I appreciate the support. I hope that you found this content helpful. If you did find this content helpful and you found it informative, I would appreciate it if you shared it with at least one person. And if you click the thumbs up. And if you drop me a comment. And if you subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications. All right, so until next time, take care, spread awareness, and carry the education forward. Take care, everyone.